Hey guys, Archon here, aka Zenith. I'm back with another strat video. Today I'm going to be talking about taking ramp on Nuke. The new Nuke, of course. So, first thing I want to get out of the way is that a lot of people seem to think that ramp just means B. Like you rush ramp and you just rush onto B. But that's a pretty low-level way of thinking about it. Really, ramp is an entryway to B and A. You can obviously go into Turnpike and move up onto Heaven, as well as go on to B. So, I think people kind of need to change their mind about, oh, the rushing ramp, that means B. It can also mean going A. So, when you execute the strategy, once you take ramp, I encourage you to wait, 10, maybe even 20 seconds. Think about if you're going to go A or B, and force the enemy to rotate and start to overthink what's happening and get a little paranoid about where you're going. So first of all, this is going to involve one smoke and a flash or two, depending on what you want. And the player with the smoke is going to be coming up and hugging this wall, and then they're going to jump and crouch across. This is going to give them the best chance of surviving a USP player from around this area and not getting headshot, because as you're jumping, your head's going to be mostly covered with the, like this ceiling area right here. Once he gets here, he's going to line himself up in this general area. You can see this second supportive piece of metal. It's not too specific. Then you're getting in this general area, where the two red bars cross. Then you're going to give him a little bit of a run throw. This is going to make a smoke, so that you're only really exposed to Turnpike. Once this smoke has bloomed, 3 players are going to come and hug this wall, looking away. Once they're in that area, this player is going to throw basically the same thing, but a flash. It's going to be a general pop flash in the area. This should help blind anyone Turnpike or anyone ramp, forcing them to fall off. Once the flash is popped, the players are going to pop out on ramp and start fighting and taking the area. I encourage a player or two to push through the smoke and catch off anyone playing on ramp. You have to be wary of players playing Turnpike on the actual ramp itself and falling back, playing behind this box, and anyone playing close right over here. Now, once you've taken this area, you have a couple of options. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean going B. You could start going Turnpike to A. You can go B, of course, or if you really choose, you can fall back and just leave ramp. Let's say you got a positive trade, like you traded 1 player for 2 players, and now they've lost control of ramp. You don't have to push this area because they know where you are, and they have lost information. So, if you notice, I talked about a player with utility here, as well as 3 players that are going to push. They'll likely have armor. Maybe one will get a Tech 9 from another player. But the last player is going to be holding here. He's going to be watching the push for Hut and the push from Squeaky. And if you're really taking a long time, which you probably shouldn't be, but in case you are, a player might have pushed outside. So this player is going to be sitting here, basically just holding your flank and lurking. And if you decide to wrap on A, he might actually be able to walk out Hut and surprise the enemy while they're focused on Heaven. And the same could be true if you go B. He might be able to walk out Squeaky and go down Vent, but that's highly unlikely. So, this video is just a really easy smoke and flash that can help you take ramp, and I recommend doing it on pistol rounds, but it also could work on gun rounds. I just recommend not really using that exact same smoke and flash on gun rounds because an opper might be playing ramp, so when you jump across and you're doing your duck, it's pretty easy to hit anyone just like in the general body with an op. Although it's not all that common to have an op playing on ramp. Typically you'd have an op playing outside, just because the angles are much longer, much easier to re-peek. And if a player is playing an op here, if they get pressured, it's kind of awkward to run down ramp because it's now you're in tight area.